Trust the process. Pain is power. All great things take time. I am unbreakable.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Unbreakables podcast, episode 5. I am your host, Jay Murga, and this is my brother and my co-host, Gift the Poet.
We have something very, very special for you guys today. We cannot discuss the entrepreneurial risk culture without introducing our next two guests. These twins found a niche in the electric dance music scene with their popular brand, Glitter Twins. However, they didn't stop there. They took a leap of faith and reached out to a mentor named John Shin and now run his social media account, his Instagram accounts, and are taking part in his world tour. These twins are the true definition of going all in and taking quantum leaps of faith. Without further ado, we would like to introduce our guests for episode 5, the Pseudo Twins.
Woo!
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, girls, for being here.
Yeah, no, thank you guys. Like, we really appreciate it, especially you guys coming down and only being here for a couple days to a week?
5 days, yeah.
5 days. So, thank you again. And if you want to let our audience know how we all met, how you guys got here, that'd be great.
Yeah, of course. I mean, first of all, thank you so much for having us. We feel honored to be on your guys' podcast show. This is actually our first live podcast. We usually do like Zoom podcasts, so this is really cool.
Nice.
You guys are awesome. But yeah, we met at Omar Elatar.
Hey,
Shout out Omar.
Shout out to Omar, or Omar the Rockstar.
Omar the Rockstar now.
His podcast workshop. And yeah, Omar actually flew us out, and he's like, hey, can you guys come to this podcast workshop and just, bring the energy, run the Instagram stories? Mm-hmm. And we're like, yeah, of course. So that's where we met these two lovely people.
Nice.
Now, thank you guys for being here. So, the purpose of our podcast is to dive into the minds and the souls of inspiring individuals who have discovered their true purpose. And that's through overcoming adversity, hardship, failure. So, our goal, like any other, is to provide knowledge, wisdom, and value to our audience. So, first, if we can start off just kind of like from your guys' upbringing, and then from there we can transition into what led you today. How does that sound?
Awesome. Sounds great. So, I mean, we grew up in a pretty small town in California. We just we lived like a simple small town life, and we never really knew the possibilities of what life could be like, because we grew up with such a, small-minded mentality.
Our neighbors had turkeys, goats, pigs, chickens.
Donkeys.
Yeah.
So once we actually moved out to Arizona and we realized that there's this whole other world out there, we were like, whoa, this is cool. And we almost felt like the possibilities of what we could do were endless. We started realizing that we could literally do whatever we wanted.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I understand you guys became servers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how long ago was that, mind you? I believe, about 3, 4, 5 months ago?
I think we quit our job as servers in February.
Yeah.
Of this year?
Yeah.
Okay, so what inspired you guys to quit?
Actually, an event that we went to in Nashville called Funnel Hacking Live. It was by Russell Brunson, he's the owner of ClickFunnels. But that event was so inspiring because it was mostly, like a lot of events you go to, it's just people telling you information. Mm-hmm. But this event was kind of rare because it was actually people that shared their story of how they went from the bottom to the top. And we saw ourselves in all those people because we're like, wow, we can really relate to these people. Like, they're everyday people just like us, and if they can do it, then we can do it too. And that was a 4-day event. We were there for 3 of the days, and then we had to fly back. And as soon as we fly back, we were so inspired that they were like, all right, we need to do something crazy in our life. Like, we need to do something drastic. So we quit our job on the spot. And we decided we didn't even know what we wanted to do.
We just called up our boss. We're like, we just can't come into work anymore. She's like, what do you mean? We're like, we have to quit today.
No, we're like, we have this crazy vision. Like, this is what we want.
Yeah.
And then she's like, wow, well, actually, like, I appreciate you guys, and, like, everything that you've done, and I believe in you. And we're like, wow, like, we really just kind of screwed her over, and she believes in us. Like, that was really cool.
So you guys literally quit, and did you guys have anything saved? Did you guys have a backup plan?
We maybe had like $3,000 saved.
Yeah.
Between the both of us. So we
Okay.
didn't really like save. We didn't plan for it.
And
So-
at this time, you guys are still the Glitter Twins, right? You guys are still putting equity in the business and.
Yeah, we
Okay.
were basically working as servers in like a nice restaurant. So we're making like $2,000 a paycheck, and most of the money, like, we just paid for our expenses, and then we put it all into the Glitter Twins, which is our glitter business. And so, yeah, pretty much.
So what inspired the Glitter Twins and that business? Like at what point did you guys realize you guys wanted to get into the entrepreneurial space?
Yeah, because you two are very young to even start a business. I mean, it's very inspiring.
Yeah, well, the Glitter Twins, we actually started, I think, 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Steph at the time was taking this, like, social media marketing, Ty Lopez's social media
yeah.
marketing agency
Yeah.
course.
Well, I had dropped out of college, actually, and I decided to take that course. That was, like, my first plan out of college was, all right, I'm going to go all in on this course, and this is going to be, like, my substitute for college.
So were you always intrigued with personal development?
I started getting into fitness, and then I watched this guy who was also into reading books, and he was like a bodybuilder, and I was like, that's interesting. Like he's into fitness, but he's also into reading and like personal development books, and that's when I started getting into it because of him, because I was following him for fitness.
Who was
But
that?
it was Brandon Carter, and he's still a huge.
Brandon Carter, yeah.
Yeah, you know him.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
ripped.
Yeah, exactly. So I would follow them. I'm like, oh, I want to be
ripped, you know.
like him.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, whose idea was it to go from the transition of we're the Glitter Twins to now we're going to start getting into personal development? Was it both of you guys at the same time? Did you guys kind of jump in it together?
Yeah, I mean, well, we were already, like, learning personal development at the same time, but when we decided to shift from, well, we still have the Glitter Twins, but make more of that shift from being ravers, you know, in
Yeah.
business to being more serious about it and then doing entrepreneur events and all that. I mean, it was kind of a mutual decision.
Was there like any convincing on one of your guys' end?
Yeah, I mean, the first of all, we were supposed to go to Ultra Miami
Yeah.
in March, like I think it's the end of March or something, and that was around the time when we decided, you know what, let's start like running Instagram stories for entrepreneur events. Like that seems like a cool thing to do, and nobody's doing it, and you know we see the need. And so I found this event that was literally the same exact dates, and Steph was like, no, Jen, we're not doing that. We're going to Ultra.
Well, she wanted to volunteer for free. Like, we had already quit our job a month ago, and then we didn't have really much money, and we had put thousands of dollars into going to Ultra. It was like this huge rave.
So the
and-
money was already invested.
Yeah, the money was already
Yeah.
invested. We already bought the tickets, we bought the hotel, we bought everything, the flight.
The
And so
ferry
Jen
ride.
was proposing that we then, instead of do that, go to Tampa, and not Miami, go to Tampa and work for free, volunteer for free to get our foot in the door. So that was like, you know,
And
For
where did
Steph,
you
she's
learn
like-
that from? Because a lot of people, they don't understand that concept that you have to give before you receive. Where did you learn that from as far as working for free?
I probably learned it in a course or something, probably from Ty Lopez. But I just knew that, like, it's great leverage. Like, doing something for free is huge leverage. And you can pretty much get, like, whatever industry you want to go into. If you just offer
Your
to
services,
do something
right?
for
Yeah.
free in the beginning just to get that experience, then you're set. So I knew that that would be a good opportunity, and I wanted things to come fast. Because I wanted things to be happening quickly. So I'm like,
Act
yeah,
on
it's the
imperfect
same.
action, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, it's the same time as Ultra, but we're gonna get more value out of going to this. So we
so
give
that's
away
when
our
we got in a
tickets.
fight about it.
Yeah.
Ooh, we got
Yeah,
some
it,
beef.
it became a feud. Like, Jen was like, we need to go to Social X, like, we need to go to this entrepreneur event and work for free. And I was like, we need a party. Like, we already spent
need
our
a
money on
party.
this, and we need.
So then, what,
we were
10X was your guys' first event, correct?
Yeah, basically.
No, I had
ClickFunnels.
gone to.
the first,
The
like,
ClickFunnels, and then you said
big one.
after 10X
first
is
big
when
one.
you guys quit your job.
We quit our job. Right after 10X was the Nashville one, and we quit our job after that.
So then, at what point did you guys realize that you guys wanted to get into the entrepreneurial space? So I remember recalling that you guys messaged John Shin through DM.
yeah.
How
we
did
slid
that
into
come
his
about? And what? And
DMs.
out of all the mentors, why John Shin? Like, what was it about him, or did you guys try with other people?
No, we didn't even know who John Shin was.
Yeah, we really didn't know. To be honest, we were just looking for entrepreneur events that we would run Instagram stories for, and we found out, oh my God, he's actually doing a whole world tour. Like, let's just message him, maybe we can get on the whole world tour. And so we had no idea his background or anything, and we just slid into his DMs and we wrote him this. It was kind of too long. We wrote him this like long DM, and he just says, "Call me."
We each sent him basically the same thing because we had been copy pasting.
Wait, through the same Instagram account,
Different
or
accounts.
separate?
2 different accounts.
Yeah, we're like, oh, you sent him the message. I sent him the message too.
We're like, how embarrassing is this? And he's like, I think your wife or sister, because we had the same last name, and he didn't like do his research. He's just like, your wife or sister messaged me the same thing. And I was like, oh, okay.
No.
But he gave Jen his phone number. He's like, just call me. And obviously it wasn't that easy because we had to like play phone tag with him for like weeks before we actually got the hold of him.
Yeah, and everyone at home that's watching, do not be afraid to ask for help, or do not be afraid to slide in those DMs, because a lot of times we have access now on social media. Like, I'm a rapper myself. If I wanted to, I can reach out to Snoop Dogg, which I have. You need to reply, bro. But, I mean, at the end of the day, we can't be afraid to do that, because, I mean, a lot of people, they don't want to take that risk, and they don't want to ask for help.
And if you don't ask, what's the worst that they can say is no?
Yeah.
But
That is the worst
especially
thing.
now, right? And I think even for us in our own experience is after the Omar's mastermind, when he made us do that cold call, remember that?
Yeah.
It's like, we're scared, but we're like, you know what? At the end of the day, it's imperfect action. And then once you get that yes, it's like that you got to maintain that momentum and maintain it.
Yeah, no, of course. So John Shin got back to you, and he was like, I think your wife messaged me. And then what happened after that? How did...
I think your wife messaged me.
Yeah, what happened after that was after we talked to him on the phone. So basically, we talked to him on the phone, and we ended up having this hour-long conversation with him, which then we quickly realized who he was. Like, we didn't know that he's like, yeah, my company makes over $100 million a year. I have like over 200 offices around the world. We're like, oh, okay, this
he owns
is
an
serious.
island. Like,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and so but then we really wanted to be a part of it even more because he was sharing his story with us, but the thing is, in the end, like, he didn't really understand exactly what we did or what we do, and he's like, I already have a bunch of social media people working for me. I don't really need
Anybody else,
I don't
right?
need to add to that. So he kind of rejected us.
Wow.
So then what happened after that? How did you guys feel? And how did you bounce back
We
from
felt
that?
rejected.
We were pissed. We're like, oh, hell no. Like, we're going to
John
keep...
Shin, if you're watching this, no.
Yeah, right? Yeah, no,
Oh,
we were
yes.
like, you know what? Like, we called him back and we're like, we get it. You have a lot of people on your social media team, whatever. Well, how can we help you? Because we realized, well, we want to work with him somehow, so we're like, how can we help you? And that's huge, too. Like, if you really want to work with someone, maybe in the beginning you're not doing exactly what you want to do for them, but, you figure out a way to weave
Maneuver
your way
through,
in.
right?
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, sales, I need help selling tickets. And so yeah, that's what we helped him do, but we ended up failing, and we sold like one ticket, and it was a complete failure, but we showed up to the event anyway, because he was like, I'll give you a free VIP ticket, which is $2,000 if you guys sell 10. So we like had this whole plan, and we went to all these events, like trying to sell the tickets. We sold one ticket, and so we're like, you know what? We're just gonna buy the VIP ticket. Like,
You guys bought it out of pocket?
oh yeah, we had no money.
We had no money, so we put it on our credit cards, $2,000 each, which was like a big deal for us because we bought it the night before the event because we weren't sure if we should. We're like, should we go? If we do, should we just buy like the $100 ticket? And they were like, nah, let's just go all in and like put it on the credit cards. And it was kind of scary because like we'd never been in debt before, but somehow we knew that it would be worth it.
Kind of like a return on investment in a way, right?
Yeah.
We just like took the leap of faith.
So it was the VIP ticket though, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with that, it gave you guys full access to him, John Shin, personally.
Yeah, it gave us lunch and dinner with him for both days, and we're
Well,
like,
not just him. It was like a bunch of like the speakers and stuff too. So it was a lot of people.
yeah, and so we're like, well, if we can talk to him in person, if we can have dinner with him, we can close him in person. And that's what ended up happening. And then he ended up bringing us up on stage and being like, these ladies are amazing. He loved our story. And he's like, I'm going to bring these ladies on the whole Think and Grow Rich World Tour, and they're going to be a part of my social media team. So from there, it was just like, go, go, go. And And we were like already in LA because we had bought a one-way ticket because we were just crazy. And we were like, let's just buy a one-way.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, and so then he would like always invite us over. You know, he'd be like, oh, Oprah's boyfriend's coming over. You guys want to hang out? We're like, yeah, we'll be there, you know.
Is that Stedman?
Yeah, Stephen Graham.
Oh, that's crazy.
awesome.
How
Yeah.
was it when John Shin called you guys on stage?
It was
Did you,
really
wait, did you guys
nerve-wracking.
expect that?
No, we didn't expect it. We actually didn't even know if he was talking about us. We're like,
We're like,
who's supposed to be going up on stage? And then he's like, you two girls in the front. And then we were really nervous. We were like, we have footage of ourselves.
but
So
that was,
you guys literally didn't have any speech, nothing planned.
well,
no,
the
he
first
just said,
time
tell your story.
Yeah, he said, tell your story. I'm like, this is my sister. I literally said, I was like, this is my sister Steph.
Yeah, she didn't even say her name. She just goes
That's so
straight to
embarrassing.
me because she just wanted to like hurry up with
I
this.
was like, hand off. But but he always throws us like little, okay, now you're gonna do this, like, cause then a couple events later when we were actually on the team in Sacramento, he's like, yeah, and these two ladies will be speaking on stage tomorrow, and we were like,
Yeah, he didn't
What?
tell us that.
like now we have to, and literally at 2 a.m. we're like preparing a presentation, like putting together, and you know we had never spoken besides that one time, and yeah, and then after that it was like, okay, well, what are you guys speaking about next time? Okay, now you guys are speaking at the mastermind, which is what
Wow.
recently happened.
He
when we
definitely saw something special in you guys.
Yeah.
So you guys today, do you guys handle more than one social media account for
Yeah.
influencers?
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, first of all, we have 2 accounts on our own. Like, we have the Glitter Twins, and then we just started the Pseudo Twins, and then plus our personal accounts. And then we have a couple clients that we work with. We don't handle their account, but we consult for them.
That's awesome. And then you guys just reach out directly to
Yeah.
potential or clients, right?
Yeah. Usually through Instagram.
That is awesome.
Oh,
So
that
as far as Instagram stories, that's the way to go, and that's mainly what you guys focus on.
Well, yeah, because I mean, the potential of Instagram. I think it's just the fact that people watch stories now more than they do scroll through posts, and also the mention feature is so big. Like the fact that you can tag somebody, and if they repost it, all of their followers
Yeah,
will see your
see?
post, and they can click on your
It's
profile.
like the ripple effect, right?
It's great. Like
Yes.
that's how you have, and especially with events too. Like that's how you have the power to reach, you know, hundreds of thousands of people and bring awareness. So we saw that, and we're like, we can capitalize on this.
We
That is
actually
awesome.
learned that from you guys. We had no
Yeah.
idea about reposting and the power of it.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. You guys
And
taught us
it
that.
does work too. Like you think about, say for instance, like as you guys mentioned, you repost, then that person and that influence reposts, and then all their friends, and we're like, what? It actually
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
It
Exactly.
actually works.
And if you keep posting about them, eventually their follows, Josh Snow, I don't know if you know who he is.
No.
But he owns Snow Teeth Whitening. It's like this huge teeth whitening company. Like Kim Kardashian represents it. Like he's big on influencer marketing. And we got to tour his warehouse and meet him in person. And he gave us his teeth whitening kits. And so we're just like, oh, well, this is awesome. He gave us like a couple $100 worth of product each. So like, let's use it. And we just started tagging him every single time we'd use it. And he would repost it every single time. And now all of his followers have seen us multiple times, which means they're already kind of getting used to
Yeah.
our faces and getting to know us.
Yeah, and that's amazing because a lot of those followers, like, you guys have a story to tell. And the fact that you guys went all in on this is amazing because you guys didn't have anything. You said you had $3,000 in your account, but you
Yeah.
guys
And we
used
used it.
all of
We cleared it.
We used it up. Yeah, we used it up real quick because we were like, all right, we don't know what we're going to do now that we quit our jobs. We just know we want to go all in on something. So we just decided to spend all of our money going to entrepreneur events. And we figured that the connections that we made and the people that we meet, we would get ideas from them. We would be able to collaborate, do something. So, yeah, that's what we decided to do.
So do you guys use the same concept as you used with John Shin, where you guys messaged and reached out to him? Do you guys do the same thing with other influencers?
yeah.
Or is
Yeah.
it just going to the events and meeting them in person?
I mean, now it's kind of easier because we know a lot of people. So, like, for example, I don't know if you know Andy Dane Carter, but, like, we knew that we were going to be in the area, Long Beach, and he has an office here. So I was like, who do we know that's in Cali? And he had actually spoken at the first Thinking Rich event. And we briefly met him. Like, you know, we've shook hands with him, so he knows us a little bit. But we just reached out. We're like, hey, Andy, like,
That
you know,
was
we're
today?
going to be we're like, we're going to be in the area. can we come by in the afternoon sometime, just, film some Instagram stories? He's like, yeah, sure. So we're
He's
like,
I'm
great.
filming 2 podcasts in a row. You guys can come over. So we got to see his whole studio.
That
We
is
got
awesome.
to
That's
listen in
amazing.
on his podcast.
And then he gave us a ton of advice. Like, he was just pouring out advice to us, and we were like, wow, this is amazing. Like, people are really willing to help you out, and if they see that you're making moves and you're constantly doing things, then they're excited about it too, because they want to be able to say that they
Right,
helped you
right.
on your journey.
So where do you guys see yourself in the next, I want to say, 6 months, 1 year to 5 years? Like, if life was perfect and if you guys can be anything in this world at no cost, what would it be?
That's a really good question.
That's a great question.
Well, first of all, living in Miami. We're going next week to Miami to look at apartments, either Miami or Tampa, so we'll see. But for me, I mean, traveling around, I love constantly being on the go and doing things. So traveling around to entrepreneur events and just being brand ambassadors for, all the entrepreneur events and, collaborating with everybody and then also coaching. We do Instagram coaching for business owners who are middle-aged
Right.
and kind of don't know what to do or
On
how to get
social
started.
media, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that as well.
Yeah, I pretty much say the same. It's just doing what we're doing now and just meeting more and more people, because we just love networking with people, and every single time we meet someone, something happens between us.
More connection, right?
Mhm.
That is awesome.
That is awesome. We have 2 deep questions, one for each of you. What we want you to do
Oh,
is
yes.
pick that deck of cards right there, because the
Actually,
deck
here-
has
Ooh.
something to ask you guys.
Okay, so out of this deck of cards, okay, there's one. You guys each pick one. I'm not asking you the question. The deck is asking the question.
Wow.
So, you guys pick one.
So is that for me? Oh.
Your own.
Oh, I want this one.
Is that
shoot.
one?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
This is the one.
you guys can take
Oh,
turns.
do we look at it?
What does yours say?
Mine says, "What
Oh.
energized you today?"
Ooh.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's a good question.
What energized me today was being able to listen in on a podcast. That was a first time experience, a live podcast and in a podcast studio. That really energized me because I thought that was really cool, being behind the scenes of it.
And understanding what really goes on, right?
Yeah.
And
that
we're
was,
so honored that we're your first in-studio
Oh yes,
podcast.
that is true.
yeah, this
Yeah.
is the first one.
This is
That's
cool.
That
This is
is
really
We've
cool.
been on 8 Zoom because nobody really has this is rare that you guys have a podcast studio.
It was one of those things where we were scared as shit, to be honest with you. Scared. Because it's a big investment, but it's one of those things, it's okay, if we could allow ourselves to have full control, where we can decorate it, we can come in 24 hours a day if we choose, bring in whoever we want, and build a platform, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just by investing, it's already allowed us, we got to keep that momentum.
And like you said, they're so rare that anyone out there who needs a studio, feel free. We're in Signal Hill, California, off of
Yes.
Redondo and Industrial. Come by anytime. We're here to help you guys out as well. Jen, you have a question that's waiting to get answered?
Yes, the question is calling me. What do you love about yourself? I think this is a good
good
question.
one.
Yeah, because nobody ever. I mean, I never asked.
What do you
myself,
love about
You
yourself?
know, how do I love myself? That's a really good question. I think that I love that. I love that I'm energetic and that I'm able to give energy to other people as well, and just give off good vibes. Because some people, you look at them, you start to fall asleep.
Yeah.
I feel honored to be able to give people energy.
Naturally and organically, right?
Yeah,
That's
naturally and organically, of course. From water, by the way. Dasani, sponsored by Dasani.
Sponsored by Dasani, yes.
You'll see them next on their post. No?
Yeah, stay hydrated.
But
That
going
is
back
awesome.
to what you said about people, if you're in the Long Beach area and you have a podcast and you want to film in studio, that's really smart.
Mm-hmm.
Renting out your studio for other people is really smart, because there's people that would definitely be willing to pay to rent out the
Yes.
space and have video content.
And for us, that became a problem. Before this existed, was pursuing obviously music and rapping. Lack of equipment, lack of space. Me, this crazy idea came in April. I'm like, I'm just gonna use my voice. We're gonna tell our story. I bought the equipment but had no space. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? Luckily, my friend, shout out No Limits Greatness, owns this facility. She's like, my massage guy just gave us 30-day notice. I said, no freaking way.
Oh, shoot.
So I was scared. I talked to my brother. I said, we got to do it. Like, we got to do it. And what I realized is we found a problem. We were struggling with the space. We were struggling with the equipment. So for the days that we're not utilizing this, why not help other people that don't have the space, have the equipment, have the services, and we'll help them get onboarded.
Yeah.
We already made it clear. You guys want to bring your own canvas, specialize it however you guys want. That is no problem. You want us to shoot an interview for you guys? We'll do it. You want us to shoot our audio? She puts all gets everybody onboarded with all the streaming platforms, sets them up, YouTube, whatever it is. We'll provide everything for you guys. So that is our goal.
Nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it's weird when you take leaps of faith like that and you move on imperfect action, the money somehow comes because it got to a point where we were spending all of our money and we needed lav mics to be mobile.
Yes.
And people want to help out, and for some reason the money came.
Yes.
And we were able to really make this happen and manifest
We actually doubled it. So we have 3 in-studio mics and 3 lavalier mics that we can take our equipment, our team, and go remote.
Wow.
So for any of you guys out there that is in need, we're here. If you guys are ever in town, want to shoot here, you guys are more than welcome. And like I said, we're just here to help people. We're here to build and build each other up. That's all
We're
here
gonna
to
spread
do.
the word for sure. Like
Yeah.
now we're gonna, if anybody we know in Cali that's like trying to start up, we're gonna be like, hey, we know these people at the studio. You don't have to get your own equipment, your own studio. Just rent it through them.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Definitely.
So I do have a question for you guys. So what is your guys' take on mentorship, and what would be your recommendation for it for any viewers out there? Because I know a lot of people don't have the money for mentorship, and if they're struggling and they're in need and they really want to make some type of change with their life, would you recommend them reaching out just like you guys did, or what would you suggest?
Yeah, I mean, I think mentors, they don't necessarily even want money. They want your time. Time is more valuable to them than money.
It's very
So
true.
I would definitely recommend a mentor because A, you don't know what you don't know, and B, you will literally move 10 times faster if you actually have a mentor who's, 10 years ahead of you in life. And so, yeah, I would say offer your time. I actually personally wouldn't pay for a mentor, but I would provide services. I would provide my services to a mentor in exchange for mentorship.
Ooh, that's good.
And
That's deep.
so I would say if you are looking for a mentor, I would figure out specifically what you want out of that person, because you don't just want to come up and be like, hey, will you mentor me? They're going to be like, well, what are you talking about? Like, what am I supposed to do with you,
Yeah.
So, like, have something specific in mind. Like, here's what I want to accomplish, and here's what I can bring to the table, and
Yeah, I think people actually do that a lot. They just
Yeah.
DM someone. They're like, "Can you mentor me, please?" And they're like, "Well, when am I supposed to mentor you in? Like, you didn't even provide a service. What are you gonna do for me?"
yeah.
And also, yeah, I mean, personally, I wouldn't pay for mentorship. Like, there's plenty of people that would mentor you, and you don't have to pay them. Especially if you don't have any money, I wouldn't do that. I would just exchange whatever skill you have.
Value for time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would exchange that.
That's amazing. And believe it or not, there are actually programs and masterminds out there that will invest and provide capital for you if they see something in you.
Yes.
One being David Albanese, Think Big, Work Small. He invested in us. He's one of our sponsors. And what he does, guys, is he invests capital in people, but he also teaches you how to take action immediately. So go ahead and follow David Albanese on Think Big, Work Small. That's Think Big, Work Small. He's on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and he just opened and started his new YouTube channel.
Yes.
Nice.
Shout out David Albanese.
What I love about this story, though, is that you guys are able to separate yourself from the masses by getting that VIP ticket. And that's something that you guys are able to sit at that table with John Shin, with all of those great minds, organically.
But that was a choice too. And it kind of takes me back to the Passionate Few Mastermind. because that was the same situation with me. At the time, I had to convince my brother. The day before, I said, just do this for me.
It was the day of.
That's it. Or the day of.
The morning of.
Early morning. I
Wow.
said, just do this for me. I don't know what it is, but we need to position ourselves in that group of people. We got to do it. And he said, okay. I said, you trust me? He said, yes. I said, okay. We went. Do you regret it?
I don't. I mean,
Do you
I will tell
regret
you-
I
it?
regret everything.
I don't regret it at all. And anyone out there who is seeking a mentor or who sees these masterminds and all of these programs, just do it. Take a leap of faith. I mean, we're all living examples of it.
Yes.
Yeah, but do your research on the people. Because
Absolutely.
There's recently been some scandals coming out. Like, you want to just be careful because there's a lot of people that front as well, as we've met a lot of people in the industry, and we're starting to realize most people don't really live the life that you would think that they live. So you have to be careful with who you're giving your money to. Make sure you do
Absolutely.
your research on them before you give them your money.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
that's
Good
kind of
advice.
too, like with our platform is we want to shine light. Like all over social media, you see the money, the cars, you see the success, but you don't really see the root. You don't see what got them there. And I think that's what really inspired us to create this platform, was to really go behind the mask, go deep dive. Like, okay, we get it. You're successful. You're making millions, even billions, right? You're driving nice cars. You have a big mansion. But what got you here? You know, we know it wasn't a happy path. So it's really honing in on that and deep diving into your failures and to the hardship and the perseverance it took you to get here. So that's what we really want to dive into. And that's why, like, our name says it all, the Unbreakables. Against all odds, you made it here.
Unbreakables.
Yeah, if there's something that you guys can share for the viewer, any adversities that you've experienced, what's some advice that you would give them?
That's really good, actually.
Wow,
Yeah, I mean,
that's
we've been through a lot of adversities, but I would say the faster you can bounce back, the better, because everybody's gonna be, going through hardships, hitting obstacles. Like, you're gonna keep hitting obstacles, but the faster you can pick yourself up and keep going, the better. And I would say let the sting be as soon as it happens. Don't dwell on it after. Let it be like as soon as it happens and you're like, man, okay, you take a day and then you move on and you don't think about it
So
again.
you look at everything as a lesson.
Yeah.
Awesome. And for Steph?
I would say, because I would think about what I would want to give myself advice when I'm in my basically like darkest phases, because obviously life is a roller coaster.
course.
I'm always
Absolutely.
hitting that spot.
And it's inevitable, too.
Yeah, I would say that if I'm at that spot, it's usually because I feel unmotivated. And I think there's a lot of people out there that maybe they're like, how do I get the motivation? Like, how do I even get to step one, which is just get the motivation, get inspired. And I would say most of the time you can't really just get motivated. You have to just start doing things day by day, daily habits, daily
rituals,
disciplines.
right?
Yeah, and that's going to eventually get you on track. But basically, you're not just going to feel an overnight motivation, because that could fade away too. You're going to have to, like, step by step plan out what you're going to do every single day, because eventually it'll build up and it all adds up. And next thing you know, you're making big progress, big jumps.
Yeah, and
Really
your
good
confidence
advice.
goes to the roof.
Really,
That's
really good
awesome.
advice. That is awesome. So I must ask you guys, what's next for the Pseudo Twins and the Glitter Twins?
Oh.
We might go to a rave tonight.
Yeah, we actually might go to rave tonight.
You guys are like all over the
Oh,
map.
you're saying
Oh,
immediately next,
yeah.
or you're saying in the future?
Oh, okay,
'Cause
so next, but in the future.
in the
I'll tell you
future-
Near
what's
future.
next. We're actually going to start a podcast, and first of all, we would be honored to have you guys as guests.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
No, that would be an honor. Thank you guys.
Awesome.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, so we're going to start a Pseudo Twins podcast.
How
we're
soon
moving
is
to
this?
Well, we're moving to Miami, and that's where we're going to get a apartment with an extra room that we can make into a
Nice.
studio. So I'd say we're probably going to move in like a month and a half. So we'll probably start the podcast in 2 months.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, and you guys are definitely an inspiration. Like, just looking around, it's like, wow, it really takes a lot to put together. And I'm like, oh, we got to pick your brain after this.
No, we're here to help
But-
you any way that we can. It literally is. So we got the space July 1st, and my girlfriend and I, we literally finished this whole room in a week.
Wow.
In a whole
Nice.
week. And then we waited, obviously, for, like, equipment and everything, but we couldn't do it alone. Like, we need a team, and we're very fortunate, we're very blessed for the team that we have.
Yeah.
And any way that we can help you guys, any way that we can help any of you guys out there, we're here. And like I said, and I'll make this clear, we're not doing this for the money. We're doing this because we deeply and genuinely care to make a difference and to make an impact. And for any of you listeners out there, everybody has a story. The problem is many are stuck living in their story. So if you are able to own it, use your mess as your message, it makes you unbreakable.
Love that.
That's awesome.
So if you guys can, tell the viewers how they can contact you.
My phone number is.
I
I was about to say it actually, but I won't say it.
Are you blowing up right now, right?
yeah, all of a sudden all these no.
My, my Instagram is at Steph Suto, STEPHSUTTO.
Yeah, and mine is Jennifer Suto, JENNIFERSUTTO.
And then of course follow the Glitter Twins on
The Glitter
Instagram. That's our glitter company.
And can you briefly tell them about the Glitter Twins?
Yeah, so basically we make glitter gel to people that go to festivals and raves. So like we could sell glitter to anyone, but when we took Ty Lopez's course, he said niche down, like get very specific with who you want your customers to be, because then you can really build a strong presence in that community. So we went to our first rave several years ago, and that's what's inspired us. We wanted to be a part of that community. So we just figured, all right, if we want to be a part of this community, in order to start a business, we just have to solve a problem.
Yes.
So we just solved the problem of people's glitter was falling off their face by the end of the night, and they looked horrible. So we made glitter gel that stays on your face all night, and it's 100% safe for your skin.
Vegan.
That is awesome.
all
Vegan
natural.
too?
Yeah.
Vegan.
Vegan. So how long did it take you guys to discover that? Like, what your niche was, what product you guys wanted to make, and how did you guys develop it?
Well, that's a good question, actually.
That is a great question, but it was easier than you thought. You think, because we
it was
just
pretty quick.
decided. We just made the decisions. We didn't think about, should it be this, should it be this. We're like, let's just do this, this, and this.
Well,
and
what
then
happened
we
was
decided.
first we sold loose glitter, even though we knew that the problem we were solving was we needed to make glitter gel. But we sold loose, barely sold anything, and so then we pivoted right away, and we're like, we need to make glitter gel. So I just figured it out. I make the glitter gels, and trial and error and research, and then
That is awesome.
No, that's
Yeah.
great. Moving on imperfect action.
Yes.
It
That
always
is awesome.
works. You guys can follow us on the Unbreakables Podcast on Instagram. We're on Facebook at the Unbreakables Podcast, Jay Mergs and Gift the Poet. Follow myself on Instagram at _GiftThePoet_. I'm dropping those freestyles, man. They're hot. They're fire.
And make sure you guys tune in. August 23rd, we launch on all streaming platforms, podcast platforms, on all YouTube, social media. And if this message resonated with any of you guys out there, like it, share it, subscribe. Go all in, guys. If there's something that you guys want to do, something that you're passionate about, niche down, don't be scared. Take a risk and just go all in. You'll never know unless you try. The worst thing that can happen is you fall. Worst thing that can happen, you get a no, but you keep trying and you persevere through. Anything else that you guys want to add?
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you for
guys
having
so
us.
No
much.
problem. Thank you. It's a wrap, guys.
I am Unbreakable.